Shirts and skins, let's get it. Yo, shirts and skins, and we back again. Shirts and skins, let's holler, y'all, we're back again. Talking college ball, where we always win. Brandon, Mark, and Matt, riding tall in the saddle. Ain't no crew like us when we're heading to battle. Tell your folks, call your kin, we're spilling the beans. Just three old boys living country dreams. Hot takes and jokes, we're shooting straight. Boys take pride, we're setting y'all straight. So grab your boots and crank up the sound. We're about to lay it down, come gather around.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
If you made it through that intro, for all the people that are still watching, Brandon is jamming out over
That
here.
was news to me.
Yeah.
I had no idea. Did you know that was coming?
I knew something was up.
Oh, gosh. Is this?
Come gather around.
Oh,
All right. Wow. You took that.
What do you think?
You took that comment to heart. Someone on our
What?
last
Oh, what they
video.
boy. Yeah. Last video, someone said that intro is cringe.
Oh.
Cringe.
What's he gonna think about this one?
Oh, boy.
Talk about cringe.
But
Hey, send it to me later.
But
Yeah. We got.
But somebody followed up that comment with that intro is a certified banger.
Heck yeah, man! I love that
So-
intro.
So
Well, you know, we're
Just
mixing it up.
depends on what type of mood you're in, I guess. All
We got the
right.
country rift on this one.
yeah.
To let you know, I have 25 new ones.
Oh boy.
What?
Oh boy.
How much
No,
did you
no,
pay for
get
that?
excited. They're good.
How much
I
did
have
you pay
25
for that? I'm not
new
paying
ones.
for that.
Mark,
I'm not paying
think
for that.
jazz. Think
Do you
reggae.
want to do?
No,
we
yeah.
can't- no,
Next time.
no.
One at a time.
One's enough.
Come on.
You're listening to
Stop.
the Shirts and Skins podcast. Thanks for joining us. I'm Matt Lamb, alongside Mix Master
Grab your
Minert.
boots.
Brandon Minert grabbing his boots, getting
Yeah.
riding high in the saddle, and Mark Moss, who is pounding a extra large Gatorade over here.
Extra large. Dude, my kids don't finish
Did you steal that from
anything.
your kid's soccer game or
Of course,
something?
yeah. They were handing the free ones out. And I'm like, you got an extra one, right? So, no, they don't finish anything. So everything in our house is small. It works.
You didn't get a fruit
Every-
roll up or fruit by the foot?
No, I already ate that. So
already
this,
ate it on
this is
the
what I
way.
got left. Yep.
Guys, we are coming off an epic game against Oregon. A loss, obviously, if you weren't aware of the score, 37-34. Got a lot to talk about with that. Let's get into it. Let's talk about it. I want to start off by saying I'm excited. We lost. I get it. Not good.
That's loser talk over there.
We could have won, and we should have won, I think. I mean, we had chances to win. But, guys, the feeling of being competitive in a game against a Power 4 school, it felt great. It felt great.
You stole my thunder. My first notes here, you want me to read them word for word?
Yeah.
I feel good about the direction of the program, and that's not something that could have been said the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And that's, we'll talk about the game. We'll talk about the disappointment, the coulda, woulda, shouldas. But you came away, I think everyone came away from that game bummed we lost, frustrated in the way that we lost. But I absolutely feel like the program is in the right hands with the right coach, top down. So I'm excited for the rest of this year. We'll talk about that, but also just the direction of the program.
Yeah. How fun was the game? It felt back and forth. It felt like a slugfest. Mark's over here saying we're not even going to cover.
I even going into pretty late, it felt like, I was
It
skeptical.
was basketball, Mark.
Yeah, there was a little bit of that.
Skeptical, really, Mark?
Yeah, there was a
We're
little
going
bit
to
of that.
lose.
I said
Well,
that.
we all said that.
No.
Yeah.
This is like during the game, though, when it's like tied or we're up by a score.
You know, it's hard. It's hard not to. I mean, it's like if they would have thrown every down, they would have won by 20.
Do you remember the drive? They threw on second down and third down. Deep balls, and they missed on them.
Second to last drive of theirs,
But
wide
the
open.
guys were wide open.
Yeah.
That one guy got turned around in the air,
Yeah.
with, trying to locate the ball.
The biggest question that I had
Wait, can I ask you a
go
question?
ahead.
What was the biggest coulda, woulda, shoulda of the game?
It's
Kick return?
Just taking care of the kick returns. I mean,
So special teams?
I was going to Google, maybe you can chat GPT this. The
Careful on
chances,
trivia on that.
That's scary.
the chances of that happening in one game is way less than 1%. Way less than 1%
But we
that
did
a
it.
team returns both a kick and a punt return in the same game. And the fact that happened and we still only lost by 3 is crazy, but that is the biggest by far. There's things we can pick apart. But if you obviously retrospect, you kick it out of bounds, whatever. If that doesn't happen, it changes the game. I'm not going to say we win because they would have still had the ball. They had the chance to go and score.
But you look, their starting field position.
They would have been really bad on the punt and the 25. So likelihood is they don't go and score 2 touchdowns there. It changes the game, and that has got to be extremely frustrating. And one of the thoughts that came to my mind with that is like, it's just
Can we do the NFL chances?
go ahead. I mean, I don't know if that's
It's 0.6%.
yeah. I would say something.
low.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I wonder what the chances are having those things happen.
And still
And
win.
still winning.
Yeah, almost impossible. Yeah. Now, it kind of got balanced out a little bit because they had 2 turnovers and we had 0. I mean, if we would have had, and the whole idea of, Malachi Nelson and that, I know we'll talk about the quarterbacks. If we have 1 or 2 picks in there, you know what I mean?
Yep,
with
that's
those
true.
2, we're not even probably super close. But those things balanced out a little bit. But yeah, that's the biggest thing because those are the obvious ones. I mean, we had great plays to get those fumbles. I mean, at least that first one, big time tackle by Zion Washington.
The Dylan Gabriel fumble was just a miscue on their
It
part.
was, screw up. But he, Simpson popped him pretty good. But, I mean, geez, to give up 2 is just so dang frustrating. Ugh.
My thoughts on the game and the overall the game that you were talking about.
Yeah.
I
the
think
Oregon game.
the overall
the game. That
yeah,
we
the game
witnessed
the game that we all saw.
on Peacock.
I think last year was a really good reset for this program because it reset my expectations. Because every time we play, like Oregon could have done to us what Washington did to us,
Yeah.
right? And that's what
probably would have.
That's what we were expecting because it's happened so many times under Avalos, dude.
Yep.
And so for me, it was exciting. It was fun because we were competitive again.
Yes.
And we were in it, and we really, I thought we were the better team most of the game.
Yeah, I mean, we outgained them. I mean,
And the
we had some
defense held.
warts.
The defense
The
held.
defense held, and I think that I think we all basically said
Yeah.
3 versions
Yeah.
of the same thing, so that's awesome. But my biggest question in the game, and you always go back and you look and say, why did we do this? Why did we make this call?
Yeah.
But overall, again, from a bird's eye view here, why we threw it 40 times and why they only threw it, 21 times is the biggest mystery to me.
Okay.
Because
I would have been fine throwing it 38 times because
Yeah,
that last drive we threw it twice.
So let's talk about
Yeah.
So let's talk about the offense.
our offense.
Our offense.
Okay.
It runs through. So Ashton Jeanty is the best thing that happened to Boise State since.
Ever.
Kellen Moore. Says Kellen Moore. I think that's safe.
Okay.
Since Kellen Moore. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Is he better? Is he a better BSU football player than Kellen Moore? Some of that's
Just
gone
different.
around.
That's he was a 4-year starter.
So-
Kellen was. Ashton, this is his first year starting.
What I think Jeanty does incredible is that we can get the offense in short 3rd down situations.
Yes.
He does not lose.
Very
Yards.
rarely.
And then he has yards against an elite defensive line. Like Oregon has legit NFL talent on their defensive line. Those 2 interior guys, they talked about them all week, right? So there's no question that he's got speed. He's got power against their linebackers
Yeah.
that he got. I mean, he's the full package, man.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a lot of people saying he's the RB1 of the draft,
Yep.
which I think would be incredible.
Yep.
Anyway, he's the best player in, I don't know. They say college football, sure, right? So that's incredible.
I'd say best running back for sure.
Yeah, it's
So
the best
far-
running back.
so far for
so far
sure.
for sure.
Yeah.
2 games in.
No doubt.
9 touchdowns. Hard to beat.
I finally started seeing criticism of Mad Dog.
Yeah, I saw some. And
Yeah.
and do you want to talk about that?
Let's talk about. I don't think Mad Dog did that bad. I think it was harder for the receivers to get open, which really surprised me. Like I thought Strawn, Bolt. I think Cam Camper's coming onto the scene as
He looked good.
The number two wide receiver in Latrell Caples. Those two guys just seem like the ones they're going to all the time that are catching it, making plays, and they're just trying to figure out ways to get Strawn in, getting bold. Lauder got a few. That was awesome. But I don't think Mad Dog did that bad. A few of the people were so angry with him. And I get the completion percentage. I get the amount of pass attempts, but I also get the fact that every time you fake it to Jeanty, you should have one open receiver. Right?
Yeah.
And so I think Dirk's going with that and say, look, this isn't a bad option to say, if we play action to Jeanty, one guy should be open because 10 guys are looking right at him.
Yeah. So
that's why I don't understand.
So first of all, the people that were super, super ultra critical of Maddox were the ones that wanted Malachi from day one,
out.
whatever. Throw them out.
Throw them out.
I wasn't one. None of us were one of them. Well, right? Like none of us were like super critical of the decision to start Maddox or whatever.
No.
That said, I think that I think your first point is valid. Very little separation from the receivers in the second half, and that was the biggest. I think that was a bigger problem than Mad Dog.
Yeah.
So we got to talk about that. I mean, this is a group that we were super excited about. We were sold that there was a lot of playmakers, a lot of this, a lot of talent, a lot of athleticism. And in 2 games, I mean, two of our 3 starters, Bolt and Strawn, super excited about those guys, have a combined 3 catches. Strawn had a big drop. He had that one deep ball that that's Titus Young, he's laying out. He didn't lay out for it.
Yeah,
do you remember that? It was like, he didn't have a good game. That's too, so not to single anyone out, but the receivers, we haven't watched it back, but they just were not getting open. And the Oregon DBs are 4- and 5-star guys. So they had a tough job. That said, 17 for 40 is not good. 148, 152 yards, whatever it was, not good.
And you could probably take 5 of those that were past deflections.
There was a lot of deflections, and dude, he threw that swing pass to Jeanty right in the arms of a DN that should have been a pick 6. So I think that there are legitimate questions, and I remember we've talked about this, and I know I said it on a couple different occasions. There's going to be some games you need your quarterback to be more than just hand it to Jeanty. I think there's questions as to whether or not he certainly didn't do it Saturday. Okay, he was not good enough to win a game against a top 10 team on the road. You can't throw for 40 whatever percent. You just can't. A big part of it's the receivers, but it just like where was they drew up one planned run for him.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see him getting it out and maybe an option to run or something to change the pot. I don't know. We didn't get enough out of the passing game, and there wasn't a threat of him to run.
Brandon, what do you say to those people saying Malachi should be in the game?
I just don't know how good Malachi is. I mean,
exactly.
He's like, I don't know. I don't see a reason to replace Mad Dog. I really don't. I don't think he did that bad. I do wish he would have taken off and run more just because I think he's got enough grit to get 9 yards.
He's Grant Hedrick-esque.
He is.
Yes,
he's similar.
Probably not as good, but
he can run.
He can get 9 yards.
He's only a sophomore.
And that's why I think I'm giving him some slack on, hey, he just went into Autzen Stadium for the first time as the first time as the starter, and he's trying to figure it out. If this was his senior year, I think he probably throws for 70%, right? So I guess all of that is a factor.
And I think how many times have you seen a younger quarterback go in, perform on a big stage, and just
couple picks.
Crap the bed.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
You look at Zabransky at Georgia, right? I mean, maybe he wasn't younger, but you try and do more in those games. And Maddox didn't do that. He didn't throw the game away.
Yeah.
He didn't throw a bunch of picks. He didn't fumble it. Yeah, his percentage was bad, but
I only saw 2 plays that I didn't watch the game film. Dude, by the way, we did a podcast with the Oregon podcast group.
Don't
listen to it.
Yeah.
It was probably the worst.
They get like 20 views a video. No offense to them, but
nice guys.
Nobody
but
watched
it was
it.
a minutia of
man.
it. I was Googling stuff the whole time.
The Quack 12 podcast.
Anyway, so the guy goes and grades every player, every game. We talked for an hour and 20 minutes.
For 20
dude.
And he's like, who's the backup to this lineman? We're like, bro, I don't freaking know. No, I don't know. Anyway, I watched.
He's like, who's going to be the center? We're like, I don't know. Maybe the guy the coach tells us
Whoever's
who's
his
gonna be the
backup
center.
is. But so going back to it, speaking about that, we lost 2 linemen.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
That's a
And
big
we
deal.
still ran it down their throats like aggressively. That was incredible.
Nice.
And then the 2 things I thought Mad Dog didn't do well, the end of the first half, he missed the tight end he threw it to Penry.
Yeah.
yeah.
He missed the open tight end.
That was a big deal.
We got to ask
needed
him.
to get that.
I'm sorry. I'm sure Penry's a decent guy. He had a decent year last year. You're on the goal line. First of all, we got to talk about why we didn't try and hand it to Jeanty before that. We had a timeout. We went into the locker room with the timeout.
2 timeouts.
So let's
That
talk about
was
that in a second.
coaching.
But back to Penry. I'm sorry. I'm sure he's fine. I'm sure he's great. He made some plays last year. Why is he the one running on the back of the end zone there? Like, is he our
don't
best?
know.
Like, it's the
I
same
mean,
thing.
Strawn and Bolts
it's the
are
same
both-
thing when we threw that when Oregon threw their second deep ball, and there is Canijo 6 steps behind him, and you're like, is he still on the freaking team? Like, why is he on the field? He got burned
if you listen
so
to the
bad
Quack 12,
for 3
he
years.
talked about Canio, and we're like, I don't think he's going to play.
No,
Yeah, I don't know.
what was he
I don't know.
doing
I
out
saw,
there?
I saw that. And then that swing pass wasn't great. And then, yeah, I mean, he's going to have batted balls against guys that are 6'6".
Yeah.
That's going to happen.
Yeah, back to the play. I mean, I don't know. I feel like anyone that's listening to our pod has probably heard one or two of the other things. So I'm not sure I have a lot to add. But the play calling at the end of the half,
And at
That
the
was
end
a
of the
coaching
game,
problem.
yeah,
That was
that's
coaching.
and so they're not going to be 100%, but that's a pivotal time. I did that last week too. I don't like that word apparently.
Pivotable.
You got Jeanty. You just finished saying he's the best player in college football. He arguably is. We had plenty of time with 2 timeouts. We threw a fade to Camper that wasn't close, and then we have our 7th or 8th receiver, and we threw one to him, and then we kick a field goal. It's like, obviously we know now, but you give it to Jeanty, it doesn't work. You call a timeout. You still have 2 plays, right? You still have one more play to throw it, and then kick the field goal. And we threw it twice and then kicked the field goal. So, I mean, that's a questionable one. And then obviously our last drive is the other one that you're just – and I'm sure that Dirk's not perfect.
you know
We
what
love
I
Dirk.
do in that situation?
Go ahead.
I run the Philly special.
Philly special
They're
would have
thinking
worked.
Ashton Jeanty.
Yeah.
Dude, you know, you could do
I
a
don't
lot
know.
with that.
There was plenty of time to get 2 good plays, and one of absolutely – at least one of them could have been a run, but they both could have been with the 2 timeouts.
Going into half with 2 timeouts was a problem.
You can't keep those in your pocket. So that was a mistake on coach not calling both coaches, really, the OC and the head coach. But
coaches, I thought, did well minus special teams, right? and I thought Ferguson had some good punts.
Oh, yeah. Obviously, the one that got returned was low and took
it
a
was
really
low
bad bounce.
You want to know what it reminded me of? At UTEP, his freshman year, cranked it super low, fat like a dart, and it kind of beat the return. But both those returns were really similar. I didn't go back. I've just watched the game as it was going, so saw the one or 2 replays. It seemed to me like both of them went into the corner, and we had our entire coverage unit converging on that corner. And once they broke one tackle, someone was missed. I don't know. I didn't play football, so there were people out of position, no doubt, obviously.
certainly.
Because it wasn't like he was breaking tackles left and right. He broke one tackle, and then it was house. So that was a massive disappointment because we pay, I don't know how much, but we're paying a lot for that coach.
$350,000. Stacey Collins?
For special teams coach.
Yeah. He was making a lot more at Penn State.
He was making more, so we had to pay him a lot to come back. And through 2 games, our special teams is worse than last year.
No, I don't think so.
We haven't had any game-changing returns.
Well,
0.
Latrell returned one that game for 25 yards.
okay.
So that was the one.
Wouldn't call it
Shining
game-changing, but it was
moment.
good.
But also some
It
of those
flipped the field.
You can't give Ferguson Reynolds punts to Collins because he had some good punts. He had
Yeah,
some good punts.
yeah.
I don't know why we're not
It's
kicking
not
it out
better,
of the end
though.
zone.
It's not certainly the special. We lost the game because of special teams, guys.
Well, yeah, but
We did.
Dalmas isn't doing kickoff anymore.
Why?
I don't know.
Shive.
Here's the
So
thing.
we need to be kicking it out of the back of the end zone.
Do we
And
not?
we have a guy holding it every time. We have a holder.
Why?
Was it every time?
It
Was it
Was
every
it
time?
windy?
It was close. At Georgia Southern, there was wind. There must have been some wind,
It's just
but we had a holder in there.
if you're what's the kicker's name? He's a
The
captain.
new guy? Oh,
The
The kicker,
Dalmas.
Dalmas. Aren't you a little? I mean, if you get beat out for the position, you get beat out. But man, he's trying to play in the NFL. You can't play in the NFL if you can't kick it through the. I guess you can now because they have the
Dude, another thing with
the
Dalmas,
new rules. They don't kick it. all the way.
I think
do that.
Dalmas's kick coverage is better. He'll run down.
Okay, yeah.
Golly.
Okay.
I don't
The
know.
safety valve.
You'd like to think that we didn't need to
Give
think
him
about
credit,
that so
dude.
much.
The other guy
Right.
didn't do anything.
Whoa. What just happened?
I muted him.
Okay. I was like, whoa. I'm usually on the receiving end.
The
of
other
mute.
guy hasn't covered a damn thing, Brandon.
Okay.
They ran right past
All
him.
right. Yeah, we'll give you 30
Yeah.
seconds.
Thank you.
Okay, so everyone knows that.
So let's talk defense. I do want to talk defense.
Can we finish the Mad Dog?
Oh, you got more?
Yeah, one more thing.
Oh, all right.
Sorry, we
one?
kind of touched on
Is it about his height again?
No. There was one of our friends that gets to, or one of the acquaintances we know that goes to the practices.
Okay.
Has a similar media credential as us three.
Okay. Yeah, right.
Okay. 2 weeks into camp, I was texting him about, hey,
You're talking about Kirk Herbstreit?
yeah, Kirk, he was there. No, I said, hey, because you hadn't heard a lot about I was asking about the QB situation. Okay. You know what he told me? I don't know if I told you guys this. I may have. He goes, it's crazy to say this, but this team might be a quarterback away. That was the response I got about the quarterbacks 2 weeks into camp. Now, that was before scrimmages and whatever. That was from a couple of, and so you wonder a little bit if we're a quarterback away. Because I'm not convinced. I'm convinced that Dirk Cutter and Spencer Danielson picked the right guy for the situation at hand.
Can I give you an option when you're
Hold
done?
on. Yeah, sure. But are they good? Are they good enough to? We got to win the next 10 games, 11 games to get in the playoff. Probably, maybe just 10 out of 11. I don't know, man.
Can I
if
ask you a
that's
question?
the best we got? I don't know. I don't know. And by the way, that person, I'm not sure if they still feel that way. That was after like all those picks were getting thrown early on. You know what I mean? So it's probably really premature at that time. So I don't want to attribute something to someone that doesn't feel that way anymore. But it did make me think about that. If that's the best we got, I don't know if that's good enough to make a playoff.
Do we
But
win
go
that
ahead.
game if Taylor Green's our quarterback?
I don't think so.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because Taylor Green, obviously really great with the legs. But did you see the end of the Arkansas game?
I did.
I didn't. I saw his
What
400
happened?
yards.
He
Throw
couldn't hit the receiver out of the backfield to go for the game tying touchdown. So just like a little, not a swing pass, but a 7-yard pass.
We've
And
seen
he
that.
throws it at his feet.
Yeah.
Is that what happened?
And that would have won.
But man,
And it would have
it's
tied it.
It's a potent mix to have Taylor in the backfield with Jeanty.
Man, I don't know. It's so hard. It doesn't really matter. But
Taylor could have got 40% pass completions.
he couldn't have done worse. Could he have done worse than that?
Yeah.
Yeah, he could have. He
Yeah,
has.
a couple picks. Picks. And that would have lost the game. So back to that. I don't know.
At least Mad Dog's willing to throw it across the middle, make different throws. Taylor
It gets
was
deflected
sideline
every time
only.
he throws it across.
But he was, if you look back to the beginning of the game, he was making some good throws.
Yeah. And he had open receivers early on, like literally guys that were schemed. It seemed like they
Yeah.
were from
Yep.
me to you open. And that
Weren't there.
really closed down the second half. And I think that's more than a product of Oregon being probably really good in the defensive backfield. I'm not ready to say our quarterbacks suck or anything, but that just wasn't good enough Saturday. Let's hope it's good enough
Luckily-
against Washington State.
Yeah.
They look pretty good. Let's hope it's good enough against UNLV.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
I don't know.
Could he have played better? For sure, he could have played better. But I look at it and say, you have Jeanty, and people talk about Maddox being a game manager, which is what we expect him to be. All he has to do is not turn the ball over. And he has one interception, but other than that, he didn't have any picks. But he's doing good enough, I think. And I don't know. Could we have somebody in there throwing deep ball? Malachi is not the guy. I'm gonna say that. So we don't have any other options that are really going to work.
I don't understand why they're not. He has to get some playing time. Malachi does against Portland State.
How's that hot take
so
going?
that's the next. Well,
It's go-
0 for
burning.
2?
It's burning.
0 for 2.
Well, let's talk about that.
Why not?
He should. I think that there was enough question marks that
Disagree.
happened. What was that?
I disagree.
That's fine. But let me, and then you. I just think that there was enough question marks. I wouldn't make the change right now. I wouldn't bench Mad Dog. I think that if he struggles like that again against Washington State or whoever, I think that it would be nice to have Malachi have had some game experience. I think at this point, I understand, like, you open up can of worms if Malachi looks good. And then there's this QB controversy. But I think the coaches, and I think Dirk is like, I don't think he listens to us knuckleheads or the fans. I don't think they care.
No.
So I don't think they're worried about
not.
Well, I know they don't. Sorry. But I don't think that they're worried about the outside noise, which there's plenty of it. And there would be more if Malachi performs really well.
The problem is
I think he should play some.
You scheme him to have success when he comes on the field. So when he comes on the field and plays 5 plays and he has good success, that's because you're putting him in that situation and you run those 5 plays,
right,
and then you leave.
But when are you going to do that in the game against Oregon?
Right.
When does that work?
He shouldn't have played in Oregon.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I
so
agree.
when's it going to happen?
Portland State?
Portland State, sure.
Portland State.
Yeah.
Give him some time.
Yes.
I think I think is dangerous is that you put them in and you say, these are the 5 plays. This is what you do on every play. And if those are successful, then everybody's going to say, wow, he did really good. When you're like, really? No. They just did exactly what is the best play for him. And if you were to put him in for a full game where he has to make reads and do different decisions, now things get a little harder for him.
I agree with all that. I'm saying that he shouldn't come in for a series. I think that in the next 2 weeks, I don't know what their split is now, but they should prepare as if Malachi is going to play some in that game, just to give him some experience.
I want him to.
I just So and not just 5 plays that are really good. I think that he should.
They want him to as well, and I think Portland State is Why wouldn't you want your backup quarterback to have some in-game experience?
Yeah, I agree.
It's just Oregon and Georgia Southern aren't the places to do that. Portland State, let's do it.
So Portland State's where we get our revenge on the state of Oregon.
Here's what I think. Yeah, here's what I think is that they should get him in.
State? Come on.
They should get him in against Portland State, and then if things don't, so we have 4 games and then another bye. Okay. Portland State, Washington State, Utah State, Hawaii. If we lose any of those games, then it's you have to be open to making a switch.
Most likely would be Washington State.
Yeah. So, but you got to give him some time at Portland State, because if you lose another game, your chance of making the playoff are pretty low. And depending on how Mad Dog plays, obviously, I just think that they have to be, one eye has to be there. They just has to be.
Really? Yeah. Well,
because he 47% or whatever. It's just like it wasn't enough to bench him. He didn't lose the game. He didn't do anything to win the game.
Okay.
And so you need to prepare, because if it happens again, Malachi has to be ready.
Can we talk about defense?
Yeah.
The Oregon offense scored 23 points.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I would have taken
and we
that
scored 34.
Our offense.
Our offense scored 34, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, I said we scored. My prediction was we scored 35 and we lose.
You said that?
I said that.
Well,
I think our offense is incredible. I think our defense is the one that determines if it's going to be a blowout or a tight game, right?
Sure.
And I actually thought our defense got off the field on 3rd down.
They did.
Which is what their whole goal was.
They got to the quarterback.
They got to the quarterback incredibly well. Okay, all right. They sold out on a few plays. Okay. They had some really bad tackling in the defensive secondary. Okay. But I thought we have our front 7, I think, are really solid.
Yeah.
And they could go against
the back 4.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
got to scheme them a little bit. But I think our front 7 are good enough to hang with a top 25 team.
So the question, why didn't Oregon just keep chucking it deep?
I can't figure that out.
I think they wanted to. I mean, they wanted to score a lot more points, right?
Yeah.
And they just weren't. I was not impressed with Gabriel, by the way.
No.
I
agree.
I'm not impressed by him in any way, shape, or form. Like Bo Nix, clearly better than him.
Well, he only had. That's the question, though. He only had 3 incompletions. Now, granted, he got sacked 4 times. He only had 3 incompletions. He was
That's
18
it?
for 21.
Okay, well, he wasn't
and 2
impressive.
of them were in a row, so he had 1 the whole rest of the game.
His numbers were good.
His numbers were
but
good.
He didn't win the game. He didn't win the game.
Because they took it out of his hand.
I got a different
honestly,
perspective.
I can't figure it out. Now, first of all, we were not getting to Gabriel without a blitz.
Okay.
So we were effectively using the blitz, which was great. I'm all for that.
Yeah.
When you have to, when we had to against them. That's fine. Again, you would expect that you would have to do that against them. I don't know if they were trying to protect, they're worried about that, but if I was them, I would have thrown it way more. They had 3 big, huge chunk plays, and then they had the 2 that he just overthrew, right? I didn't see anything in this game that told me that our secondary got any better at defending the pass. What I saw was that we had a lot better, got to the quarterback better. You coached, like we schemed better to like blitz and whatever. But did we have any great pass breakups? Like he only had 3 incompletions. 2 of them were on the last drive where he just airmailed them. And I don't remember what the other one was, but so it wasn't like.
Well, I wasn't impressed with him, and I also didn't think he took it upon himself to like win the game for Oregon.
Yeah.
I think Oregon's like a tempo game where they like play, bomb, play, bomb.
Why
and they couldn't get
Why
into
do you think they didn't throw it more though? I couldn't figure that out. I really couldn't.
They obviously tried that one series when they threw 2 deep
Yeah,
and it
they
didn't work
connect.
out.
Yeah.
I think
That was
think
late.
I still
That
would have
was
done
late.
it more though.
I would have done it
because
way more.
It kept working. I mean, when they reviewed that one play when we were just like, they had 3 receivers up to the top of the screen and they threw the slant.
We did
and it was
the casino.
casino. That's what it was.
So my question with the casino blitz was, why did we have? We had safeties guarding the receivers. It was Benefield and I think Tubes, or it was Ian
Tubes
Washington.
was out.
Oh,
Tubes
okay,
out by
we didn't
then?
Talk
I think
about
so.
that. Ooh.
So why didn't we have our best cover? Maybe they are our best cover guys, but Benefield got screwed on that play, right? And I have no issues with casino. I'm just like, if you're going to do that, you got to have your best cover guys trying to cover their guys. And we had
wonder-
a couple safeties.
I wonder too, though, if the offense hadn't subbed anybody out and they couldn't get the right
Yeah.
guys in or whatever. Could we talk about targeting?
Stupid.
Yeah, that.
Did you think
The
it was
rules-
targeting?
Especially on the slide.
I
the
would
QB
like
slide.
I would like a 20-second rant.
Go ahead.
Targeting should not eject a player from the game anymore
Why is that?
because the message has been sent. It's been what, 12 years since
A
targeting's
long
been
time.
in?
That long?
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Has it been sent if all of a sudden they don't get kicked off though?
Well, look at what
you think
Tubner
he
did.
tried to target?
He didn't spear the guy. He wasn't Venable on
No,
him.
no.
He just glanced off it. Give him the penalty. If he gets 2 targeting, take him out.
Yeah.
But the thing about
There
it,
should be
these
different
kids,
tiers of targeting, in my opinion.
Okay.
That was probably a penalty, but he shouldn't have been kicked out
No,
for that
my
one.
thing is the penalty or the punishment doesn't fit the crime. It doesn't, especially that one, because you're taking 1/12 of his season away.
No, I agree with
And
you.
I think it's
that
completely
play.
over.
On that play, I agree with you.
When was the last
there
target
is some
you've
there-
seen that's
I saw an egregious one in another game that was helmet to helmet, like launching Venable style into a dude's helmet.
get him out for the half?
I
then.
just think they should remember when like flagrant fouls in basketball, they have like a flagrant 1 and flagrant 2. I think there should be 2 options, and the worst one you're out. Because here's the reason: it's like making it's like you're trying to change the game from the top down to little
they've
kids.
done that, and they've done that.
But
They've
it's,
done
it's
it, is
most
my
effective
argument.
because the punishment is so big.
I think a punishment. I think the penalty is atrocious that they'll give you.
You're treating him like he's taking his helmet off and smacking somebody.
Yeah,
with it.
no, I
Like,
agree.
that's
There
what you
should
would
be
do.
different levels. That one, he never should have been kicked out of the game. I agree.
Yeah.
I do
that's
think
my
that there
point.
should be
the punishment doesn't fit
kicking
the crime.
out for egregious.
Dude, look at a face
Because-
mask. Face mask can crank your neck
Yeah.
all the way around.
I understand,
worse
but
than that.
Yeah, I understand.
Do you
but
get thrown out for a horse collar? No, that could be bad.
That's 5-yard penalty.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe they made it because the whole
time has come.
concussion and the
Yes,
movie and it
I
was
get-
social media and. all
Well, you
these
need to
things.
get
I
a
don't know.
generation of players out.
Yeah.
Was the point
Yeah,
of what they were
yeah.
doing. And I think
Okay.
they've done that. I mean,
Okay.
generations in football are 4 years in the NFL, right? I mean,
Yeah.
they're out. And so I think coaches are teaching kids coming up. When we were in high school, your helmet was a tool.
Right.
And
right.
they were like, use it.
Right.
What do you got that helmet for? You're like,
Yeah. yeah.
right? And so it's whatever. It's not that anymore.
Yeah.
And so Tubner,
Yeah.
dude, freaking Gabriel.
He never should have been kicked out
He
for that. It was
bounced up and
ridiculous.
he's like, he got me in the head.
Yeah,
you
he's
had
rolling
no
over a frickin'
problem.
soccer
Give
player,
me
dude.
a
You
break.
kidding
and
me?
he's sliding,
And that ended
and
up.
Tubes has already committed.
Yeah.
What do you
It
do?
was
It sucks.
Well, and here's the other thing about that: the rules official that comes on didn't think it was targeting.
He said it was a glance, and I agreed.
Yeah, I agreed. So it was a little bit of a surprise. Here's my other thing. Back in the day, I don't know how long ago, it seemed like most of the time when you have so Oklahoma State came to Boise State a few years ago. Guess who was officiating that game? It wasn't Mountain West officials.
was
Usually
Big 12?
it's either Big 12 or it's a different conference. In non-conference
and they
games,
had
you
a Big
don't
10?
have the home conference officials. Like I didn't know that was even allowed anymore. All of a sudden, it's a
I
Big
didn't
Ten
know that.
official. Now, I don't think that I'm not going to sit here and say we lost because of the official or whatever. That was a bad call, and there was multiple
Pass interference.
There was multiple
Dude,
pass
Bolt
interference.
got,
yeah,
mugged.
Bolt got freaking
Yeah.
horse collar,
Yeah.
no call.
Yeah.
There was a couple of those. So, why is the Big Ten? Why are their officials officiating the game?
Don't know.
I didn't even know that was allowed.
I think that's what that's how much they care
I mean,
about us. Dude.
Jeremiah Dick.
That's
No,
what it is.
seriously, that is a.
What is Jeremiah gonna do? He can't do anything.
Yes, he can. You sign a freaking contract with the school. You have non-conference games. That's part of the contract. Yeah, we'll come to your place. Officials are going to come from the SEC, or officials are going to come from the whatever. That is, I guarantee you, that's part of the contract. And he got
At
bent
JD.
over again. He took over. No, okay.
At JD.
No, my bad.
He's not coming.
No, my
Never coming.
At
not
JD,
listening to
athletic
this.
director.
No.
What's his?
He already gave away the home game to Oregon. Oh, we'll keep the away game. We'll keep it. We want to.
Why did we give the away game away to Oregon?
Because they asked
Or the
for
home-
it. We gave it back to him. That's
For
why.
$1 million?
For $1 million, whatever it is. No, but no, hold on. No, it's fine.
fault.
We schedule Central Michigan. It's cool.
Oh,
anyways,
we're going there.
No, his scheduling. Do we need to cut this? No.
Okay,
But that is in the
the
contract.
point
That should be
being-
in the contract, and it is in the contract. And the fact that we allowed the Big Ten officials to be officiating that game is on us. That is on us. 100%. I'm serious. It's on us.
Well, you're probably right.
Yeah.
You're probably right.
I am
I
right.
thought the targeting was. I think my point is targeting should not eject a player from the game anymore.
Okay.
Agree.
Okay.
I think we're past that point, and
Okay.
that was a big loss for us, man. We lost our star, and we don't have any update on carry on, right? I mean, we're probably not going to on the offensive lineman.
Well,
It looked like an ACL, right?
no, it was his. It
was
looked,
an
To
ankle.
me, it looked like a tib fib
Oh,
fracture
you would know. Oh, a fracture
in his
Wow,
ankle.
too
That's
bad.
what it looked like to me. I just saw the one
would know
replay, and on my wife's watch, I was like, "You're not going to want to see this." And it looked like he got rolled up.
Yeah.
So,
And then we lost tubes.
Well, then they put him in a
Yeah.
boot right on the thing. So he probably that's usually a fracture, right?
Okay.
So
Mhm.
the
That
other
sucks.
guy, they think torn biceps tendon for the center, Randolph.
Oh,
Randolph.
Randolph.
They haven't announced he's done for the year, but
That sucks.
if he
Long
torn his
time.
bicep, he's done basically for the year.
That's a big deal. So that sucks. But I thought losing tubes was a big deal because you're like any guy you lose, you're in a tough spot.
Well, the
You're just
tough,
gonna be in a
yeah,
tough spot.
yeah. So we're
Anyway.
already down 40%, and you wonder how deep is our O line. They did great. Jeanty
did great.
we ran
Okay.
for over 200.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
What do you grade the offense? A, B, C, D, plus, minus, whatever you want.
That includes coaching and play calling, the whole thing,
the whole
offense.
the whole package.
On what I expected to be at Oregon, I'd go with a B plus.
Oh.
Okay. So I
Okay. What do you got?
Was that high or
we-
low? I don't understand.
No, that's fine. That's
yeah.
okay.
A B plus.
We got some crap last episode because we didn't talk enough about Jeanty
Okay,
and
yeah.
how great
Oh,
he is.
yeah,
Agree,
yeah, yeah,
agree.
We spent most of the time on the offense today talking about quarterbacks.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
But look
that's
at what Jeanty did again. Another 70-plus yard touchdown run.
3 already.
He's got nine rushing touchdowns, which is the most since anybody.
Ricky Williams. I
Ricky
saw that.
Williams.
Run,
dude.
Ricky, run.
and his stats are way better through 2 games. Let's not
Okay.
get crazy, but
Dude.
that was our toughest team we're going
Yeah.
to play.
So when you look at Jeanty, when you look at how well he does, the guy could stiff arm anybody. He does it every time. It's amazing. He's what do they say, the bowling ball of
He's a
knives
stud,
or
dude.
something. So
He's a snowplow.
snowplow.
We know he's
got
a
that.
snowplow.
What do you got?
I think it's I'd say B plus, A minus.
Man, I'm doing A
And-
minus.
and it's because so much Jeanty. We focus on the negative, and we tend to do that because of Madsen, I would say, and the receivers or whatever. But
Yeah.
I do.
Jeanty probably gets.
We
a
scored
minus.
enough points to win.
We did.
Yeah.
In a tough place to play, in a top 10 team, and,
And
really good
none
players.
of us thought that would happen. None of
35,
us.
35 points.
I
That's my
didn't.
prediction.
34 points isn't a shock to me. I thought they were going to score 60 though, so that was the change there.
Okay,
so.
what do you give the defense then? So A minus, couple B pluses on
Yeah,
the offense.
I'll give the defense grading, not a grading on a curve.
B minus.
Yeah, a B. They let the explosives killed us. There were 5 explosive plays that killed us. 2 of them were on special teams.
But that's going to happen with Oregon. That's
Yeah,
going
it's
to
gonna
happen.
The receivers are so fast.
Yeah, no. So a B. I mean, certainly you can't give them an A. I mean, but it's B. It was
Okay.
solid. It was
All right.
good. It was good. Better.
Special
teams is an F. We don't even have to
F.
talk about
F
it. I mean,
minus.
it's just and Dalmas, man.
Dalmas
You know,
what?
you don't expect
He missed the field goal.
He missed the field goal. It's 54-yarder.
Yeah,
He
it
had
was
the
a long
distance, but you know,
It was a long one.
he wants to be an NFL guy, and you got to make those. But he didn't, and you know.
I have an update on remaining schedule.
Okay.
Schedule change?
Probabilities and records.
Oh,
We did
we're
this
there
last
again.
week.
Yeah, that's updated. Okay.
Yeah, it's updated. So we have updated probabilities. We can start at the top. What do you want? Do you want to guess the probabilities?
This is only regular season, right?
I'd rather
12
you
games.
tell us. I have no idea.
12 game. 12. The remaining, I think, are 12 games remaining is what they have on these numbers. That there's 12 games remaining.
So you're saying conference
Oh.
championship and no, that's your overall record probably. I haven't seen this.
How many
but
games are we going to play?
We have
with
10 more
conference?
games. With the
We've
conference
played two.
championship would be 11. With a bowl game would be 12 more.
12.
And potential playoff.
So with conference championship, it'd be 12 games. Is that what we're saying? Or
More?
13.
From now?
No, total.
Total? No. We got 12 games on the regular schedule. Regular.
We're 12. Okay, so regular season.
Yes.
No
okay.
bowl game.
Okay, got it.
All right, so we're starting at the top.
Jeez.
Just start at the
Can
top.
we mute him?
Yes, we
Me?
can. Me?
Yeah, you.
What?
Self-muted.
What's the probability rated? Do you want to guess these?
Yeah,
What's the probability we go 12-0?
Well, it's 0. What are you talking
I'm
about?
just starting it.
Okay.
I'm just starting. 11-1,
3%.
13%,
13?
10-2,
38.
33, 9-3,
That's got to be the most.
31.
Yeah. Okay. So we're
So it was lower?
so 10.
So 10 and 2
is the
is
highest.
our
Okay.
highest. Yeah.
All right.
We no longer
We still
have
don't know where those numbers come from, but you know, that makes
True, actually.
Where do they come from?
It's a
putting
cool
that-
graphic
Yeah.
from Twitter.
That's true. That's true.
Mark, did you put any notes about, I don't want to single Irby out, but
I did. I'm not going to say what I
Our
did.
secondary?
Yeah. He has not been as advertised. Let's put it that way.
he's had multiple penalties where he doesn't look back and make a play on the ball. Two at Georgia Southern and one at Oregon.
And one big one at Oregon.
The
And
pass
again-
interference in Oregon was bad. Like as bad as I've seen because we're holding hands. Like we're doing everything
it
we
wasn't
can.
even close. And the crazy thing was he was in position. He didn't have to
He's
hold
in
his
position
hand.
because they were holding
He didn't-
hands, dude.
I don't think so. I think he was running with him, and he was
I don't
just
think they
getting
would have called the
handsy.
handhold if
No,
he would have
it-
looked back.
Yeah, I don't think they would have
Oh,
either.
really?
That
I
stuff,
don't think
were
so.
like-
They
I
do
know,
that
but
shit.
they were both doing
They
it.
do that stuff. They get away with a lot, but no, that was the bigger issue. He was in position. All you gotta do is that.
And
He even put his body. They train him to like. Well, you would know you're a corner,
Yeah.
but like to lean your body into him, look back.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Which
he
he tried.
did it all there.
was
He,
0 for
didn't
3.
look back.
I hate as a cornerback.
Go ahead.
Allstate. Just gonna say. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. I get no play on that. I get no play on that. I get no play on that.
Okay, go
you've
ahead.
had enough already.
Okay. I hate it when people are like, "Oh, just look back." I hate that.
But it's the
Yeah,
rule.
no, we're saying it like
I
we
know
played the
it's
position. We know what we're
freaking
doing.
hard
It's
because
hard.
when you're running, they're like, "Look at his eyes," and then right when his eyes go big, do 5 things. Right, go through his arms, look back, do this, lean in.
Okay.
and you're like, "There's a bang, bang, bang things," and so yeah, I get it. If you have confidence and you have speed and you're in the right position, you can do all those things.
And if you look
easily.
back, if you look back too soon, what happens?
You get lost.
Yeah.
And I've done that so many times. It sucks when you're like, oh, we can't be that far away. So you look back, the ball's over your head, and then they're in the end zone.
Okay.
And so it's hard. That
So it's
part's
hard.
Very
It's
difficult.
hard. So Irby's awesome, or what? What are we saying
Yep.
here?
It's,
Yeah.
it's,
Dude, I'm
it's
just
not
saying,
as easy as we think.
I
that
get
is-
that. I agree. I understand.
And would you have rather taken the penalty over a touchdown over his head?
yeah, but he.
Because that was an option.
I just
So
think,
what are you saying? Like he's been amazing. Like
No,
he was.
I agree. That he hasn't been amazing.
Well, it's that one, and then he lost. He got the 60-yarder, which was flashes of UW, right? The
I'm with
early
ya.
one in the game where he
I
was
guess
running
I just
behind
feel-
him.
I don't want to pick on the kid.
I don't like
I just-
picking on him
as-
either,
as
but he hasn't
quarterbacks-
been as advertised.
I'm going to
yet.
give people you didn't look back. I'm going to give that to them. But you should be in position because you start 10 yards back most of the time, like 5 to 10 yards back. You should be with those receivers deep. I really believe that.
Well, he was on that last one. The other one, he just got burned.
Well, yeah.
And they're top of the line receivers, so it's hard to. But the problem is it's the same dude with the same problem, you know.
Remember
So
last
he
year?
just has struggled a
Once
little
we
bit.
had conference play, our defense and
Yeah,
our
all of a sudden
secondary
we're good.
specifically.
Oh, because we're playing
a
New
lot better.
Mexico. Quarterback can't throw at 50
But
years
then,
old.
the news stories are, hey, we're good again.
I know. Let us. Yeah. Yeah. So
I don't know.
that was a tough.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know. I just like. Obviously, we're gonna sit here. We're gonna kind of pick apart some of this stuff. Ultimately, it was a great showing, but it was just. If
Loved
you
it.
would have told me before the game, like, you're going to lose by 3, I would have, like, and I said it, like, just don't get embarrassed. Just keep your playoff hopes alive. And we achieved that. We achieved that for sure.
know-
It's just it was frustrating because the way we lost. We outgained the special teams. We can talk about Irby all we want. Basic stuff. Less than a 1% of games happen the way that did. And it happened to us. And it's so
What's
frustrating.
cool is if Oregon turns it around, because I don't think they were great.
No, they weren't.
But if they
They'll
turn it around and they do a good job and they run the table-ish, like they can lose a couple, then that loss
It's only going to
catapults us into the playoff because
Yeah.
it's like these guys can run with anybody.
Yeah,
right?
no, and I think
Which
they
is-
will get better. I don't know what their deal is. I mean, I know they're catching a lot of heat. They dropped in the rankings again a couple points. It does. You know, we talk a lot about on this show. We've talked a lot about NIL and them buying recruits and whatever. And I think there is something we said for culture and building your team and buy-in and not just getting guys and paying them money. I mean, someone said it. I don't know. Maybe it was on the post-game show, but one of the guys said something
Sanford.
about. Did he say so? Yeah, Sanford said he was
Like
like
they have 10 to 15 times more NIL money than we do.
right, but he said that they look like a team that is just cashing checks. I don't know what he said, but he basically
They're not a cohesive unit.
Yeah.
Is what he said basically. They're not playing
it's like an
up.
all-star team. Like
Yeah.
you've played in all-star games. It's like you're not cohesive. So they'll hopefully grow into that for our sake. Although I really don't like rooting for them, but now you kind of have to. But I mean, let's look and see what happened in South Bend this weekend, right? I mean, Northern Illinois beat
Illinois.
Northern Illinois beat Notre Dame. And so, first of all, they're the front runner for the Group of 5 spot as of now. I have no idea how good they are. Historically, they've had good teams.
Are you guys going to the Notre Dame game?
I'd
want
like
to.
to.
I'm going.
Let's go.
What do you mean you're going? Like you've already got tickets? Or
No.
If we get enough sponsors.
I'd like to go. So let's talk about that. I would like to go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If
I
we
think a
go,
lot
we
of
should
people
do
like to
like a
go.
little recording on there.
Oh yeah. I would love to go.
Well, anyway.
They're in the driver's seat though right now. They're in the driver's seat for the Group of 5
Which
playoff
sucks.
spot. I love that they won that game, even to our detriment. I will because of the divide and all this crap and the NIL and the money. I will root for a G5 team 99 out of 100 times.
Can we pull up Mark's Twitter real quick and talk about that one take you
What are you
just
talking
had
about?
right there?
I don't know what we're talking about, but just go ahead.
Well, can we? I don't know if Mark was getting after some people.
I don't know what we're talking about.
Northern Illinois, by the way, has WMU coming up.
Western Michigan. Is that who we're playing? Did I say Central? Western
Or is
Michigan.
it Central? Who are we playing?
I think it is Western in Kalamazoo or something like that. So I don't know if you've heard, but we
they're
got
the
another
Broncos.
big time announcement for our non-conference scheduling. Home and home series with Western Michigan coming
Yeah.
up. Going there
Good news.
first.
Mute him. What you got, Brandon?
Mark was pretty active on Twitter on September 7th, which is fine.
What day is that?
This is the day of the game. If there's somebody posted, if there's anything that the first 2 weeks of college football has shown us is that the supposed power divide between the G5 and 4 is basically non-existent, which anyone who honestly followed the sport already knew.
No, I disagree with
And
that
you clap
wholeheartedly. That was before the NIU game, but
Yeah.
that
want me
was
to say
before
it?
our game. Sure,
It was before our game.
I agree with that.
Um,
Statistically, I'm correct.
There's been some close games, but I'm assuming P4 is winning 85% of the P4 G5 games. The divide is real overall and statistically speaking, although any given day you'll get some upsets.
That's exactly right. I stand by that statement 100%.
You're probably right.
I know I'm right. How many G5 teams have beat Power 4 teams? Like 5? And there's been 100 games between the two?
I don't know. ChatGPT that.
There is a massive divide.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah, I know I'm right.
Okay. We're just giving you
So
a
I
receipt.
love seeing the Northern Illinois team beat Notre Dame, and I will root for that.
Yeah, I
and I
loved
will
it.
root for
Loved
Memphis
it.
beating whoever, even though it might be to our detriment. I don't want to see us divided completely. And the more that we can win games as a group of 5, it's harder for them to say we're going to go and do our own thing. Because if they win 98% of the games, then at some point they're like, why are we even playing? But if we can keep getting some of these wins, UNLV, you know
if you're Notre
it does
Dame,
help.
You're like, why are we playing these games?
Why did we just spend all this money to lose?
Well, that's true, but up until that stops happening.
Yeah.
Well, it'll probably keep going for a while.
Mark had a hot take last week.
Whoa.
And somebody
Mark did?
agreed with you.
Okay, go ahead.
Do you remember your hot take?
No.
You came on like all guns a-blazing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember that.
Mario Warren.
Yeah,
Oh,
D. Warren.
well, he's right. Yeah.
User some letter, whatever their name is.
Give
Said your
their-
hot take was good.
Okay, thanks.
Really good. I can't even read this. It's a bunch of numbers
Okay.
and letters. Secondary is the number one issue 2 years in a row. It looks like they're being taught no basic techniques.
I don't know.
Ooh, that's.
I mean,
a
I'm
little
not
strong.
going to go. Yeah, it's a little
No
strong.
basic.
I don't think I think the defense overall was better. I'm not convinced that the secondary made some huge leaps
Okay.
and bounds.
I want to move on from that.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask a question on here.
Go ahead.
You ready? Jeanty doesn't win the Heisman. Does he go on the Mount Rushmore of Boise State?
If he doesn't win the Heisman, does he? It's
Still
so
a lot
tough
of
'cause
season.
It's
Still a lot of season left.
yeah.
to be
Let's
played.
see how he ends up. If
No,
he
come
rushes
on.
for 2,000 yards and we make a playoff berth,
No, we don't make a playoff berth.
then no.
Yeah.
Get out. Get out, Jeanty.
No, he's
Jeanty,
great.
get out.
He had a good year last
I do
year.
think spending more time here, building that loyalty
Yeah.
gets him more
Yes.
recognition later on. If he's a 4-year guy, easy. Yes.
Easy.
Okay, he wins the Heisman.
He doesn't have to win the Heisman. If he rushes for 2,000 yards and we make the playoff, he's on the.
How many yards does he have right now? He has
Like
like
450.
Yeah, almost 500.
He's on pace for like 2,700. It's not, I mean, honestly, at Portland State, I wouldn't be surprised if he rushes for 78 yards. He gets 6 carries.
Right.
And they sit him. You know what I mean? Like
Get some touchdowns.
So there's going to be some of those games, and some teams are going to scheme big time to stop him. I don't know. I wasn't smart enough. I don't have the all 22 tape to see exactly what Oregon was doing. Obviously, they knew who he was. Obviously, they tried to stop him. I don't know if they went max, stop Jeanty, and go one-on-one with everyone else, no safeties. I don't know if that necessarily happened, but there will be teams that really sell out to stop him. And he's not going to rush for 192 every game. That's not going to happen. But
You'd think,
I don't know.
You'd
I don't
think
think he
our
will.
media clout would get us that all 22 tape or whatever it is.
you would
they
think
know
so.
we wouldn't
why,
watch
why
it.
don't we?
I think they know.
So I will
I don't
say
know,
this
dude.
about
They
Jeanty.
went after Jeanty. Oregon
Yeah,
went
they-
after Jeanty
I-
hard.
I'm
and
sure they
he
did.
it. And
He
the
did
O-line
awesome.
stood up.
He's amazing. I'm not taking anything away
I know
from
that.
him. I'm
We know
just
that.
saying that like he will have been a starter for 1 year. It just depends how this year goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that said, our possibility of making the playoff and his success go hand in hand, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
I agree.
Because I think what's going to happen at the end of the year, let's say we go 11-1, or we're 10-2, we win the championship, so we're 11-2.
Not 12-0.
Not 12-0. Let's say we go 11-2, and now we're in the running against a 13-0 Liberty, 12-2 Memphis, Northern Illinois is 12-2, whatever. Him being a potential Heisman on the stage there literally would help us get into the playoff above these teams that no one. Name a guy from Liberty, name a guy from Memphis, name a guy from Northern Illinois. But everyone knows who Jeanty is,
Everybody.
and they know who
Gentry?
Boise State is.
Jeanty.
We need to come back, by the
Jeanty.
way, to the broadcast.
Oh, yeah.
Continue.
So I'm just saying that his success and our success as a team go hand in hand, obviously. But I think if all things are equal or close to equal, him being a potential Heisman candidate would put us in that game above a Memphis.
well, there's a bunch of people.
You know what I
RG
mean?
or Robert Griffin III was saying he's the front runner on the Heisman. Don't disqualify me. I'm just saying.
Is
A
it 'cause
bunch
it
of
just
people
got
were saying.
Let
I know,
go
but
from
it's-
ESPN, Mark? He has no credibility?
I know.
Is that what you're saying?
I just think it's cool. Anybody,
awesome.
anybody, and he's a voter.
It's awesome that he's getting
big deal.
he's getting a lot of love. Props to Boise State again for putting it out there. Props to him for backing it up. I mean, 192. And here's the thing: there were some people in the post game show. I couldn't go to sleep right after
show?
the game. I don't know if you
Dude,
guys
I was up
could,
till
but I was up
1:30.
till 2. My wife, we were in a hotel room. It's all like I'm listening to it on my earbuds, right? And my wife turns over and she's pissed because she's like, "You're driving us home tomorrow. What are you doing?"
Like, I'll get a Mountain Dew.
Yeah, I'll be
Easy.
fine.
Yeah, dude, I had a Red Bull and a
Well,
Mountain Dew.
it's
I was
hard
fine.
to-
But no, it's no. There were people saying, "Oh, we can't just," like they were trying to say that we were pulling a Harsin on on Madison, or Ajayi when we're just running him ragged, right?
Oh, on Madison.
He only had
Alexander Madison.
When we
yeah.
just kept running.
He only rushed it 25 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good utilization. But it would be, if he didn't rush it for 25 times, it should have been 27.
How many times a game rush though?
6.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, well, but Jeanty
we didn't
took
overuse them, is what I'm saying.
No.
Yeah.
20 and
I don't
25.
think anybody thinks that. Yeah. Well,
Okay. Yeah.
anybody
Yeah, good point. No,
rational
I think
thinks
we're
that.
using them.
Yeah.
Well, they were like, do we want to win the game or save Jeanty? And they're like, let's save him.
I think it'd be cool to see. I think it'd be cool to see Sire Gaines if we had a 3 touchdown lead in the third. It'd be interesting to see what he could do.
Yeah, he wasn't bad, but there was a difference.
Yeah,
There is
there's
a difference, obviously.
for sure. But it'd be interesting to see what he can do. I don't know when we're gonna get Breezy back, but I want Jeanty to get 150 yards a game.
Oh, I want him so much
Yeah.
to get 2,000 yards and just be this
Big play
name.
guy.
Like,
Yeah.
if we lose a couple, it's gone. But if we beat Washington State, we'll be ranked. We'll play Portland State. We're only 2 on the AP poll. We're like 2
Yeah.
slots out.
Did
So we
you see
actually
the
moved
San
up.
Jose guy?
No,
He listed as a 14 seed.
that's ridiculous.
He's doing the Lord's work over
ridiculous,
here,
yeah.
dude. He's doing some good
What
work.
about the San Diego State running back?
Ooh, that
guy-
guy didn't
They
back it
didn't
up.
even score.
I don't even
That
know
didn't
his
back it up.
name. He rushed for.
I don't know.
If anyone hasn't seen that, you need to go and his comments after the first. Did we talk about this? After the first game of the year, and he rushed for 200 yards against Texas A&M Commerce.
Yeah.
and he said, someone asked him, did you see what Jeanty did? Did that give you motivation? And he says, yeah, I saw what he did. He's not the back I am.
Yeah.
And he says, I'm the best back in the conference.
And the
blah, 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 blah,
broadcaster's
blah.
like,
the broadcaster, he audibly
He's like, oh.
Did he really? I didn't hear that part.
so
yeah,
funny.
it's funny if you go back and listen. But yeah, he had
Fake
53
news.
yards, 0 touchdowns, 50 yards against Oregon
Dude,
State.
and Jeanty did it in short yardage. He did it. He got really good runs on first and second down, and then he had a big play where he outran their secondary.
Dude,
Which I never,
He
I didn't think I could see
Stiff
that.
arm 2 people, get to the next level.
he's
This way.
amazing. He's fun to watch. He's freaking fun to watch.
Can we talk about the broadcast?
Oh,
Horrible.
Peacock.
Are you talking?
Because I need to
sucks.
cancel
Yes.
my Peacock membership.
Gonna.
That was really, really bad.
You want to know why no one knew that Madsen was having? They never put stats up.
No, there's no stats.
Oh,
No
that's a
stats.
good point.
There's no stats.
They never had down
They
and
could
distance.
barely get the down and distance.
Good.
And
I was
Gentry.
watching
He
Gentry.
kept saying Gentry.
Jainty. I was watching it with my son Jackson, and he's like, "Dad, it's 3rd down," and you're like, "Yeah, last play was 3rd." Like,
Oh, is
they
that what
wouldn't
it-
change it, and he's like, "We got another play." And it's
Well,
like, no.
for me, it kept like skipping. Did it do that for you guys? And I have
Mine-
good internet.
A little bit, but I was in a hotel, so I was.
Mine was fine. The people said they had some echo
It kept
issues.
blacking out.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
a
mine
couple
would black out.
blackouts, but
Dude,
it was
get
during,
out of
I
here,
know.
man.
Yeah,
Get
it-
out of here.
And Colt McCoy was on the broadcast. Is that right?
What?
No, that wasn't the Boise State. He
That was
was
a
on
different
a
one.
broadcast,
Okay.
but it was the Nebraska game on
Oh,
Peacock.
Oh.
I thought he actually did okay.
Okay, I didn't
listened
hear
to some
him,
of that,
but the announcers were not great.
Poor
They
execution.
probably weren't even there, were they?
probably not.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they were.
I don't
Some
know.
Yeah, they were.
basketball
Were
games
they?
they aren't in.
Yeah, a
No,
lot of
but
them weren't
basketball's
there.
different. I mean, they
Yeah.
got to travel back and forth.
bad,
It was
bad.
bad.
It was bad. It was bad. Like
That's first time.
you're trying to get people to get the stream. Like you think you put your best foot forward. It's owned by NBC. I mean, they have the technology. Like streaming is one thing. Your internet, there's a but simple things like graphics
Yeah.
and timely stats.
Dude,
that's
that-
like basic. Like what?
Well, you know what's interesting is the quality of the product that they put out for the viewers at home has taken it to the point where it's so enjoyable to watch the game at home.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because you don't have to deal with parking, and I'm sorry to say all this. The in-game experience is amazing, but watching it from home is so convenient, especially when it starts at 8 p.m. Okay?
Sure.
Sure.
When you take away a few things, you're like, man, that's not as satisfying
Yeah,
as
it wasn't,
like,
it's annoying.
yeah,
Frustrating.
it was
it's
bad.
interesting.
It was.
That was
bad.
very interesting. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do we got? What else we got? What do we
I've
got?
got just one thing from me.
Go ahead.
Mark got called out.
On
He
the
got
comments?
fact checked.
What's new?
Got
Well,
fact
oh,
checked
by who?
by my mom.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah.
My mom apparently listens to the podcast.
I didn't
still.
know that she listened.
Caden Chan, Mark, who you were so mad that he was returning kickoff.
Mad. I was just
He also
curious.
returned.
He had one.
Yeah.
He's a Mountain View grad, not a Centennial
Not
grad.
Centennial. I read that. I swear I read that. I didn't just make it up. I read it somewhere.
Here's a dig from my mom.
Yeah,
Why don't we
She
put in?
said, I only
aggressive.
looked him up because I couldn't believe Centennial actually had a player at the D1 level.
Oh,
Dude, that's that.
Wow.
Dude, how did Ren feel about that? Ren went to Centennial.
Yeah.
Ren was a
Yeah.
big time basketball
probably
player at
doesn't know.
Centennial.
And she said, sorry, present day Centennial. And sorry, Mark.
I don't think
but
she
loves
cares.
the podcast.
She,
No,
yeah.
she-
I don't know. You know, that special teams is a good place to put some wide receivers,
Yeah.
especially return game.
I saw Griffey's kid out there.
Oh, really?
I saw, yeah.
On special teams?
Yeah, on special teams. I don't know if he was in on any of those issues, but I did see him out there.
Okay, well, make some plays.
Yeah.
We need some plays.
Anyone?
We need special teams like it. Caples had that punt return, but after that, we were afraid to.
Why
do
are we
anything.
not returning kickoffs? Or were they through the end zone? Maybe I
Not
don't
all
know.
of
I just
them.
we haven't.
Well, when we got Jeanty on there,
A lot
why?
of kickoffs happen.
Why do we have Jeanty on there?
I think so. They kick it away from him, and then we know
To
which
the
way it's
Mountain
going to
View guy.
go. Yeah, to the Mountain View guy.
Okay.
I don't know, but well, I was going to say something with
What?
that, darn it. I don't remember.
Anything interesting?
Just
Yeah,
say
it was really,
Mark, just
really,
say it.
really, 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 really good.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't remember.
I think special teams.
Oh, I know what I was thinking. What Stacey Collins? He came in and he got all the guys excited to play on special teams. They want to play on special teams, and we're going to be aggressive. We're going to whatever, and it's been anything but aggressive. We
know, I
haven't
still
gone after a
don't-
punt. We haven't gone after to try and block a punt.
We didn't in Oregon.
No, I didn't.
I bet we
Did
did. It just didn't look
It didn't look like it.
Yeah.
Okay, and then just a return game, just in 2 games. We'll see, but 2 games in, it's we've definitely played it safe, and that was our criticisms of last year. It was we just gave up on trying to return.
It's
stuff,
just
but-
hard because I think we were trained to expect special teams things to happen, like block punts, block kicks,
Can I just?
returns. I think also expecting interceptions on defense every once in a while.
Dude, when was the last time I had one of those?
It's been a while.
Did we have
Well-
one in the bowl game?
I do want to talk. Can I talk about the fact that we've given up special? Remember that used to be our identity.
Yeah. That's
We-
what I'm
we
saying.
gave
I
that
thought
up
that's
during
why we
Harsin,
brought
right?
him
That's what
back.
I'm saying. Yeah.
Well, we gave
just-
that up during Harsin, right? Peterson was the guy over special teams, and he's
Yeah,
like,
I
"This
think
is
it's
important."
slowly Peterson got in his mind.
Lost our identity.
We need to be big boy football.
I still think that our best teams had incredible special team,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it's sad that we lost that identity. And I think the coaching role turnover has probably played a big part of that. It's like
But
you're
you-
just popping a new guy in there every year. Just
But
take
this
take
guy
care of it.
isn't new.
You
He's
just
been
had-
here before.
You had football players just playing different positions.
Yeah, correct.
You had Matt Miller throwing the ball. You had different guys, that could throw it.
Pettis,
You know-
and block and punt stuff.
Well, that's interesting
Orlando
too.
Scandrick.
Dirk Cutter, he's innovative. And again, I love Dirk. We love Dirk. Whatever. 2 games in, you want to pound it to Jeanty. You want to utilize that, right?
Sure.
What would be wrong with sprinkling in some creativity?
Something.
We'll see. It's probably coming, but how do you not have something up your sleeve at Oregon? I don't know. It seems a little odd.
Oregon's flea trick play, whatever.
Yeah, that didn't
was
work.
sweet.
The
I
hook and
loved it
ladder?
because the broadcasters got after him. They're
Yeah.
like, "You think you need that?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's what coaches hate. I think
Yeah.
coaches hate when they say, "Oh, you think you need that to win?" And for me, it's like, "Yeah, dude, I'll need any
Do
play
whatever.
to win. I need any play to win. I don't care."
But I'm just not even saying necessarily a trick play. I'm just I didn't feel like the game plan was overly complicated or innovative.
We scored 34 points, and we could have had. I think the timeout situation. I think we could have had 37.
Yeah.
But anyway,
One thing we didn't talk about,
38, I
and I
guess.
know it's been beat to death, but I just think we can't get off here without mentioning our last offensive drive.
No, we talked about it.
Did we?
mentioned it.
Okay. Well, if we mentioned it, that's enough then.
That we
Yeah.
had to
We
throw
gave it
it
to
on second,
Jeanty.
third down, or we
It's
did.
2nd and 6. You want to bleed some clock. You don't want to give it to him. You want to get first downs and go and kick a field goal. And we decided to go 5 wide. I just think because not only are you giving it to Madsen, who struggled in the second half, everyone agrees. I mean, whether it's his fault or the receivers, he didn't play well in the second half. Period. End of story. Everyone knows. Why you would you want to pass the ball, fine, but there's no threat to give it to Jeanty. So if you're going to throw it, why are you going 5 wide? It just didn't make sense
In
to
Mad
me.
Dog's defense, it hit him right in the chest.
It did. And it may have been that he turned.
It was just
Turned too late.
too early.
It turned there a little early. Didn't whatever. But I don't know.
Anytime you go 5
Second
wide, in my
guessing.
opinion, at the start of a drive, I like a quarterback run.
I was thinking that I literally thought that's what they were going to do.
And we hadn't really ran him. So
So
they wouldn't expect it.
Anyways, Jeanty.
We're great coaches.
My thing is, you get the first down there. You still got to get 6 other first downs.
I know.
You're
It's just
still
we
so
gave
far.
it back. We
But the
didn't
thing is,
even get one. We didn't get one first down.
That first
on that
one
drive.
is so big, though, right?
It's big.
I mean, that game went 8 lead changes back and forth, and ultimately we just didn't finish the game.
Oh, we were up by 10 for a long time.
We were never up by 10. We were
Huh?
never up by 2 scores. We were never up by 2 scores. We were never up 2
Oh,
scores.
can we? Okay, you're right. You're right.
But
Can we talk about
just didn't
third quarter?
finish. We didn't finish.
We lost
Third
13
qu-
and
Again,
Did
somebody
we talked
say
about this
third
last
quarter?
week. It was horrible.
Our third quarters have
Madsen-
been the
Madsen
worst.
was 1 of 10 to start the second half.
It's pretty good.
Again,
We have a problem with third quarters. What did we get?
Yeah.
2 possessions in the third quarter?
whatever, we didn't score, they scored.
and we were down we lost 14-0 that quarter, I
yeah.
think.
Something like that.
13-0. They missed the extra point.
So
2
I
scores.
just okay. The drop punt, where the guy dropped the ball running in.
Kickoff return? Yeah, that was interesting.
They picked it up.
They picked it up.
So yeah, that
But
was
still,
a
it kind of
touchdown.
hurts.
Made sense. I think the broadcast, had it been better, would have made that more clear.
Yeah.
Because we're watching it, we're like, what happened? They
Yeah,
didn't
why
show
did they do that?
anything, and the ref comes on. He's like, oh,
That's true. We have a serious problem with the third quarter. We need to score 10 points in the third quarter. I think that should be their goal
Any
every
points.
time. I'm just saying, if you go back, and this is where I want Dayton to go do some research.
Dayton
At Dayton Robinson, the last 12 years, our points,
A lot of work,
opponents' points.
In the
Or
third
go back
quarter.
5 years, dude.
5.
In the
Yeah.
third quarter.
Yeah.
Get out Excel, do your work.
Yeah, we lost. I mean, we lost the game in that quarter.
And it's like we wanted
We've
to
done
do
that a
what
lot.
Georgia Southern did, where you score right before half. Yeah, it was a field goal, but get it back and let's score
we gave
again.
that away.
And it was just, we went 3 and out, I think.
Yeah.
Gave that away.
That
Yeah,
was
that
a
was a
bummer.
problem. That sucked bad. So
Yeah.
I still think our third quarter.
How many how many explosive plays did we have?
Jeanty
Jeanty had
obviously.
the run.
Would the pass to Camper be an explosive play? The touchdown?
What's an explosive play? Over 20 yards?
I don't. I guess I don't know the exact definition, but they had 5 obvious ones. I think we had 1 obvious one.
I mean, there's a couple. Jeanty had a long run. I don't remember how long it was. It was
Maybe
like
20
Is
yards.
that a big deal?
around 20.
That's probably an.
Is that a big deal?
Well, when you play really well, I don't know, and you lose by 3, there's a lot of
Do
reasons
we-
why. You know,
Do we have an explosive offense?
I think we could. I don't think it was explosive in that game. Jeanty had 1.
I think we have an explosive offense in the Mountain West.
I think we.
Yeah, for sure.
We probably will. Yeah.
What about penalties?
Well, I don't really remember. I mean, the
On
big one.
offense.
Can I ask you a
I
weird
don't
penalty?
really remember.
We had a
couple
like
of false starts and stuff.
illegal formation.
Yeah.
Like
we
a
had
couple of those
couple.
just stall out the, they kill the drives.
But they had them too. They had some that
Can
really
I tell
helped
you
us out.
a
Holding
weird one?
calls.
A weird one?
What's that?
The game-winning field goal, we jump off sides and give them another
know.
option
What
if
was-
we wanted to.
Try it again.
Simpson.
I know.
Yeah,
If
what
they-
if we
if
would have
they
got the
miss
block, dude?
And we're like, oh, special teams really lost
That
the game.
did not help. Oh.
Can you imagine?
Yeah,
Can you imagine?
Wow, I didn't get that one.
Yeah, that was.
I don't know.
So-
I still super happy. I'm really
yeah,
excited.
overall.
I think the coaching staff did an incredible job. That was an incredible game. Really happy with the guys. They worked their butts off. So many people on Twitter said BSU gets more out of their guys than any school in the country. And I agree with them. And I think it's a credit to the coaches and how hard the players worked that everybody, including us, thought that they were going to get destroyed, and they didn't. And so we should be really happy. I'm very happy.
Yeah, we should be. I mean, ultimately, we want to get back to the point where we're expecting to win these games, but we were so far from that this is a step in the right direction.
So look
totally.
at last year.
So-
Lost to Washington.
Bad. Oregon
Billion.
State.
And then
the year
Oregon
before-
State 34-17.
And we shouldn't.
It was bad.
Yeah.
So it was. Yeah, I
Wait,
agree.
Last year we
2 years
played
ago,
2 years
we played
ago,
Oregon State.
when Hank just
And they
he
tried
pulled
to-
a Z and
Yeah,
pulled himself
that's
out
true.
And
early.
they tried to bring in Talon to save it, and he had a long run. And but yes, I agree, Brandon. It was fun. Like for me to be in that game, and yeah, there were things that were bad, but so many things that were good. It's just like, hey, we're in this thing,
Yeah.
and that
It's going to
that
be a
means
fun
ton.
season. We're going to be in the chase for the play, assuming we can win some, roll some. Even with one more loss, we're actually still in the playoff. Just because there's only 5 options, the 5
Yeah.
winners, and so you never know.
Yeah.
We can't afford more than one other loss.
Yeah,
No doubt.
I think that game gives us 2 C's: confidence
Yep.
and cred.
Yeah, I think
Oh.
You know,
the 2 C's.
Yeah.
I agree.
and those are huge.
We got. We can't get out of here before we talk about the one and
The
only
bye week,
Not the bye week.
because that's what's coming up. So
Okay.
we'll still do a pod.
Kellen.
Hold on.
Oh, dude, let's talk
watch
about
the
that.
freak out.
wanna-
dude.
I do wanna talk
Why are
about
we
that.
perpetuating
Woo!
this myth?
It's a lie, dude. It's stupid.
Is it a lie?
I don't know if it's
Well,
a lie. Maybe.
Steve Young said it, man. He doesn't lie. He wrote a book about not lying.
I'll
I
talk
swear.
to you about that book, Behind the Spiral.
No, he's got one about like love or something like that.
Did you read his book, Behind the
Read it.
Spiral?
No.
It's all about his career, and he talks about love a lot.
Okay.
Okay. Here's the thing that I thought was lame about that book.
Okay.
And I don't,
Too
Steve
ma-
Young.
Too many words?
No,
Not
Steve
enough
Young
pictures.
Steve Young I was the only one that read it.
Okay.
Anyway, so Steve Young, he kept
Audiobook.
saying, he's like, it was like 4 marriages that he walked away from, right?
Okay.
And he got married at what?
Like
30?
he didn't get married 4
He
times.
like was engaged and he
Okay.
didn't show up the day of.
really?
Right?
I
The
didn't
A
know
couple
day
times.
of?
A couple
that.
times,
What a
yeah.
punk, dude.
So anyway,
That's rude.
and then he kept saying it wasn't right. It wasn't my soulmate. It wasn't my soulmate. And he was leading it
Soulmate.
up, and then he's like, and then I found my soulmate, and it happened to be this incredibly attractive model who was
course,
really
son.
LaFonda.
no. But for me, I'm like,
Soulmate.
for me, it's like if you're really looking for the soulmate, it's probably Debbie in accounts payable somewhere. It's like it's not a model, a supermodel, and so it's like
Absolutely
it sets
it
the whole
is.
thing up. I think that I guess could happen, but Kellen Moore, do you have to have certain
People
church
probably
credentials?
haven't heard this. People. So
Yeah, you
can we explain what happened?
Do you have to have
Yeah.
church credentials?
Yes. So Steve Young was in Boise and was on Idaho Sports Talk last week.
Which
They were
is a
talking
good
to him.
get for them, by the way.
Great get. Anyways, he said to the KTIK audience that he hopes Kellen Moore is a future BYU head coach.
Yeah.
To be a future BYU head coach, you have to be an active member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Right?
That's it, right? That's
Kellen, I didn't know this. I went and searched it. Kellen's LDS.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
He married a girl.
I
that
knew
was
that
LDS.
she was. I never knew that he got
Okay.
baptized.
Yeah.
So he is eligible. And they only have their short list. If they got rid of
It's
Sataki
short.
or he, it's 5 guys.
They can't
It's
grab
Andy
that
Reid.
Navy
They
guy
can't get
again.
him. Niamatalolo,
Yeah.
they already said no to. Who else you got, right?
Yeah.
So they just hired their basketball coach is like killing it.
Yeah.
I'm not a BYU, but
Well, he's an NBA guy.
he was an NBA guy,
Mm-hmm.
assistant, came down, and they committed their NIL dollars to basketball. And they are like recruiting at like a top 10 level right now.
You know, and they got it makes sense if you're Kellen because you don't risk your BSU legacy.
Exactly.
And you get some money. And Kellen doesn't seem like a hard, like heavy metal guy going at it. And so BYU seems to be the right place.
He's a clean. It seems like it would be perfect.
Yeah.
Apparently, he owns a home down there. Now that would be brutal for I think for
That would
Boise State
suck
fans
so
that
bad.
hate BYU, that would be really tough. And I'll be honest, as a member of that faith, I did not go to that school, and there's a lot we could do a whole podcast about BYU fans and BYU and whatever, but there's been times it's difficult to root for them for different reasons, even though I would like to, but I just don't in my heart of hearts.
Wait, Oregon or BYU?
BYU.
But which one?
I'm talking about BYU right now.
Okay.
What
But
I'm
who
saying
do you,
is-
who do
He's
you
talking about
dislike the
BYU.
most? Okay, sorry.
Okay. Oh, Oregon, I dislike the most.
Okay,
but
gotcha.
if Kellen Moore was the coach at BYU, it would
No.
bring me. I'm not saying I'd be wearing BYU gear. I would never wear BYU gear. I would sway from enjoying their collapses to actually hoping he's successful. It would, because I love Kellen Moore that
Good
much.
way to put it,
Dude, what's better than watching BYU
I
just,
mean,
just
I
collapse?
don't root for the collapse. Like
Yes, you
no,
do.
Outwardly, I don't. But when it happens, I'm chuckling.
It would be a stab in the back,
Would
in my
it?
opinion.
Yeah.
Why,
It
would be
would
a stab
feel
in the
that way.
back?
It would
Like
feel
they
that way.
stole something that was ours.
See,
Yeah.
and that would be the worst part of it. Would be the
And they're like, he's
BYU
ours
fan
now.
reaction. By far, would be the
We
worst.
love Kellen. He's our favorite. I'm
Oh
like,
gosh,
shut
you're
up.
right. The cougar
Shut up.
tails would be flowing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Because
that was a big deal.
Kellen, don't do it. I retract
I
it.
wonder
Don't
if he
do it,
would.
Kellen.
I wonder if he would.
Well, to this point, he hasn't wanted to go to college,
Which
but
makes sense.
why would you ever? We've talked about this. Why would you want to coach in college if you coach in the pros? No way. But if for some reason he's got family, or she's got family there, and the situation presented itself, and he's not
Which it would.
which it may, because if he's not a head coach in this next however many years, he may not be ever. And if he wants to run a program, maybe that's his option.
Question. Let's say he takes a job.
The BYU job.
Let's just say he takes
Okay.
it. And then he doesn't go to church.
I don't know if they're checking your tithing slips. You know, I don't know.
Is it just
I thought you had.
auto-deducted?
I thought you had to have like a temple recommend. I thought you had to be like legit.
So what if you're not going to church?
Oh,
Would they fire you?
Good question.
I don't know. I don't know how that works with them. I don't know. My understanding was you had to be an
called in
active.
the honor code office.
Yes. My understanding was that the head coaches of their varsity sports had to be active members of the church.
Okay, yeah.
But I don't know if they have to be going. I don't know.
That was kind of a
knows?
weird take to
From
throw
Steve
that
Young?
in there. Yeah, to throw that in
Or
there.
me.
No, from Steve Young.
I
throw
didn't
that
actually
in there.
listen to the whole thing. I just heard
Yeah,
a
they're
little
talking
blip, so I
about
don't
it
know
on
the context.
IST today.
But sounds like he was in Provo quite a bit this year around the football program.
I do know somebody who saw him at like the BYU, I think it was basketball camp, when they have like fathers and sons things. And he was there.
So yeah, brace yourselves potentially, man. Like he didn't go there. His wife didn't go there. She went here, right? They met in Prosser.
sense.
She's from his.
Okay. I don't know.
I don't know what their connection is. Maybe he had family or she. I thought he can. I don't know. I don't know his story. I had no idea he was
Mark's-
LDS.
yeah.
I knew she was. I didn't know that he was. So
I
I don't
heard
know
that.
if he converted. I have no idea.
But I don't want
Who
it to
knows?
happen.
I don't really want it to
Shut
happen.
it down.
That
don't
would be
know.
a tough one.
Oh.
Okay. So next week, let's talk about next week and then let's get out of here, right?
Next week we have a bye,
Bye week, but
but we'll have an episode on location
on location.
in St. George, Utah.
Woo.
Yeah.
So join us. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? I mean,
Yeah.
we're going to do it.
We're going to do it.
How did the Phillies do, by the way, the Eagles?
They won.
The Philadelphia Eagles.
Phillies.
The baseball football team.
Yes.
You know, a couple
Did they do well?
RBIs, home run.
A few run throughs.
They were down in Brazil.
I know.
right?
I didn't
They
see
won.
They won.
They
They
won.
won.
So they had a good
Saquon,
offensive.
Saquon Barkley had a great game.
Yeah, they scored 30 something, right?
Okay.
Yeah, they look okay. Yep. So yeah, we'll be back next week, even though no game. Oh gosh.
You don't have another
Is this
one
a
to throw
different
at
one?
us?
I can.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
No.
Hold on. Go back. Give us another
Yeah,
one.
I'll give you another
Is
one.
that a different country one or the
No,
same
that's
one?
the same one.
Same one.
Dude.
I'm happy to give you.
why
I got
did
all
you get
want.
25? Where did this come
What else?
from?
What else am I going
When
to do?
when you get one and it's so good,
It's like you just got to
and you
get
get
that
the
hit.
next,
You
you just get that hit.
oh, I like this one.
I changed the lyrics for every one of them, by the way.
Did you write the lyrics for ChatGPT?
You wrote.
But in college sports, where we always win. When you're parking lot, we're fast and loud. Tell your friends, cause we're making you proud.
Wow.
Yeah, if people are still listening,
This is a good one. Ready?
No one's
Great
still
boys for the
listening.
cause, we break all the rules.
What? What rules are we breaking? What are we talking about? If you're still listening, please give us a comment. Let us know you made it through the whole thing because I'm not convinced.
yeah, let us know how you felt about the music.
Turn it down.
I'm sorry.
Also, like and subscribe.
Please do. We
We're
do. We have
almost
some
500.
goals.
Get us to
We
500.
want to get to 500. We're
Get
like
us
4
there.
something. Let's get there.
Let's do it.
We will see you next week from St. George. Thanks for listening. Like, subscribe. We love you. Go Broncos.
Hot takes, quick jokes, no time to play it cool. Boise State pride, we shout it out loud. We're the Broncos, yeah, we stand up from the crowd.